And I subsequently got banned from that gig because they thought I was being Zionist on stage. Fascinating, because the joke wasn't about Palestine or Israel at all, but they assumed.
Hello, welcome to episode 5 of What's Your Damage with Jez Watts? Episode 5, Cinco de Cryo. Thank you, Adrian Karlberg, for coming up with that number 5 based phrase. This episode I talked to David Rose, touring comic, new husband at the time of his interview. We talk about how he was born deaf in one ear, his family fled the Holocaust, his sort of recently rediscovered Judaism, how he has depression, and how he's very guarded in a way that's probably related to all of those. We end up actually there's quite a lot of chat about comedy, I think, because David doesn't necessarily feel comfortable revealing all his personal life and personal details, but we got into some things, and I understand him a lot better now. And I think he realizes that he used to come off as a bit of a sociopath, right? But now he's all grown up, and he's a much more well-rounded and caring person. And I think therapy and the right medication and getting to have a loving romantic relationship, I think that all helped him, and it makes a lot of sense. Those things all help me as well. You can find shows on sale for David Rose at the Adelaide Fringe and the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. I'm sure there's going to be other things coming up at different times. You can go to davidrosecomedy.com to find all of those things. Of course, do go and watch my full comedy special, White Rice Supreme, on YouTube. I have shows on sale I'm still in Perth doing the run, and then I have Auckland, Wellington, Dunedin, and Melbourne International Comedy Festival are all on sale right now. Please do buy a ticket, because it, makes me much less stressed. If you're thinking of maybe coming, just grab it now. And then it ends up I have to, pay, Meta Industries way less money to sell tickets. And, they're a bunch of evil cunts. So let's limit their income from me, I think. Here it is, episode 5, David Rose. Born deaf in one ear, has depression, family fled the Holocaust, and is very guarded in a way that's probably related. Here it is.
Because you can have this romanticized thing of like, I'm the poor guy that like stays in the hostels with the cockroaches.
I mean, I used to be.
Yeah.
I still am poor.
You're like Jack Kerouac, and then you're like, yeah, man. And then you like go stay in a nice place, and you're like, you're J.K. Rowling, and you're like in a nice place, and you're wealthy.
Trans people. Yeah.
I think, look, there's the thing that really interested me about the ships. I thought the thing that would bother me most would be the environmental impact of the ships.
That bothers me conceptually.
I thought that would be my biggest problem with it. When I got on them, I realized it's actually it's the caste system on the ship. Is that the people that work on it are from generally very poor countries, like they're like from Bulgaria or like Southeast Asia or something, or like they're either from like Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, or like even like Russia. And it's so in one way, like they are being sourced from these poor countries and then being made to serve like. Yeah, basically, it's like the Hunger Games.
I did like some like sort of ski resort corporates for Mark David like a couple of years ago, and like that was sort of a similar thing. Like the people who worked at the resorts, like they sort of travel the world, continuing to work at these resorts. But it's like they're poor people who love skiing.
Yeah,
and you can only ski by serving.
And by their metrics, they make a lot of money, but they'll, it's not much money for an Australian. Right. And they'll say to you, like, it's kind of like prison. They'll come up to you and they'll go like, how long you got left on your contract? Because they're on the ship for like sometimes 2 years or something. And then as a comic, you're like, oh, I'm here for 4 days. And they're like, what do you mean?
They're on the ship for 2 years?
Yeah, they just agree to like, it's not prison. They can leave whenever they want if they quit.
But doesn't
when you're on the ship takes your passport when you get on and you work there, and you can only get off. Can only get off if the ship gives you back your passport. It feels a lot like a jail sentence. On the other hand, they get world-class training in hospitality and service. They get world-class training. They work on every part of the ship, so you do everything from like room service to comedy club hosting to working in the restaurant. And at the end of their time on the ship, a lot of these guys take the money, they go back to their home country and they open up a business and they fucking kill it because they've basically
that's
been at school for
interesting.
2 years.
Yeah, it's like an apprenticeship kind of
It's
thing.
an apprenticeship. So there are pros and cons, but it is pretty bizarre to get on the ship and realize like I'm literally making maybe like 10 times what these guys will make this month, and I'm on here for 4 days telling dick jokes to tourists, you know. It's
Sure.
that part of it's a bit gross. And the other thing that's really interesting is like turning up at the ports, because a lot of these towns, they're port I grew up in the Dandenong Ranges, which is a touristy town.
Yeah.
So every weekend 2,000-3,000 people come up to the hills. You know, the lifeblood of the community is tourism.
Yeah, okay.
And so all the shops are geared towards that. And you have this love-hate relationship with the tourists where they clog up the roads and they're obnoxious. But on the other hand, all the kids where I grew up, everyone had a part-time job working in a hotel or
I feel like the people who live in Edinburgh are like similar with the people who come for the festival.
Yeah, you hate them, but
it's
you need
like
them.
there's a huge cash influx, but actually they really resent how their town is sort of ruined for a month.
Yeah. And
it's like, no, the charm is gone. But it's like, oh, yeah, but also, everyone needs money to live.
And also you guys are very well off because of the...
Yes.
Yeah. So like, when these ships pull in, it's an immediate cash injection into the town. 3,000 people get off the ship.
Yeah.
Spend money for 4 hours and then leave.
Yeah, they're all like people who are loaded and stuff.
Yeah, some of those towns are really reliant on them. There's like places in New Zealand that like probably wouldn't exist. Like the towns couldn't survive without the cruise ships.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like now it's like a drug. Now they're dependent on the cruise ships. So it's look,
Have you done many drugs?
Many drugs?
Yeah.
I did some drugs.
Do you have any addiction issues?
No, I never.
No, you don't strike me as that.
I was talking with my wife about this. It's like I just
You're
never...
very, very quick to jump in to start using my wife.
My
thing.
wife?
Yes, that's great. You've been married how long now? A week?
Week and a half.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got the ring. Although I'm not going to wear it on the ships because I don't want to lose it.
Oh yeah, because Nicole and I, we've been engaged now for longer than we were together before we proposed. Like we've been engaged, I think, like just over 6 years now.
Yeah.
And for a while, like I initially proposed with no engagement ring because I couldn't afford one, and then eventually I got her one, and then she wasn't really wearing it because she's in surgery a lot, and it just bummed me out that she wasn't wearing it. I like understood intellectually, but emotionally I was like,
imagine you're like, I lost my ring in a rabbit today and I can't find it. You know, like
she did think she had lost it actually at the stables where she has a horse, and she thought she had lost the ring, and she like it ended up it fell off and it was in the kitchen or something, but. I mean, the ring is not important. It's obviously
it's symbol. Yeah. So,
but after we had a conversation where I said, "Oh, sort of bums me out that I don't see you wearing it." Like she now wears a lot more, and it feels good, man.
It does, yeah.
It feels like that person is announcing to the world, like, "Hey, this, like, David's important to me." You know?
I'll probably get like a silicone version of this made for when I'm on tour or whatever.
Yeah,
and
interesting.
Just, like I just think it'd be embarrassing to lose it, and I'm so
absolutely.
Forgetful. I'm so forgetful that I will inevitably, if I take it off, I will lose it.
Yeah.
So if I'm at the beach and I take it off, that's
how did you guys meet, by the way?
Tinder in New York.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just over there for a holiday and just matched with her.
And did you match with like a bunch of people as Tinder is normally the case?
Yeah, I think I did.
Did you go on a bunch of dates?
I went on a handful of dates around the US, but it was really interesting. It was right about.
Did you know she was Jewish at the beginning?
No.
Yeah.
No.
This is after you'd done the 23andMe, right?
During that time, because I was actually in America to research a documentary I was making about my Jewish ancestry.
Oh.
And then
I haven't seen this.
Oh, it was on the ABC. It's a radio documentary.
Oh, wow.
And
that's
then
cool.
Then matched with her just weirdly.
Yeah, okay.
And then but it was a bit messier. I was dating someone else. It was an open relationship. There was a whole bunch of other stuff happened. Which it's interesting. It's an interesting story, but I haven't talked about it publicly on stage or on podcast because it does involve me being not faithful to my ex.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's a sort of not a cut and dry situation because it was an open thing.
Yes, I was in a long-term open relationship, like in my early mid-20s, and it's interesting thinking back on it with the perspective now of a person who's like been in therapy and sort of grown a lot more as a person. I'm like, well, that actually wasn't ethical, what I was doing. Technically, everyone had signed off. I mean, I'm not saying anything about yours.
No,
everyone had signed off, and I was like, yeah, I've got plausible deniability or whatever. But actually, what I was doing was not cool.
Also, it turns out I reckon that probably open relationship people who are like autistic probably
Right.
shouldn't be in them because
No.
you tend to follow the letter of the law and be like,
yes.
yeah, but that's not what it said on the piece of paper.
Yes, I'm so intensely focused, and yes, it's an autism thing, but I'm so intensely focused on the explicit letter of agreements, and it's a thing that Nicole and I've had multiple these sort of blow-ups over the years where it's like the intent sort of almost doesn't matter. It's actually
But
just
what
it's
did
whatever
you
we
say?
wrote down, basically. Yeah.
And so I've never talked about it because although I think there's an arguable case for it's just the messiness of human relationships.
Yeah, sure.
You met someone, you fell in love.
Absolutely.
It's not fair to her because it's half her story.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's not really fair of me to talk about it. But anyway, Julie, we met on Tinder is the short version of a longer, more interesting story that if I had permission to tell, I would, but I don't.
How much? You don't talk that much about your relationship on stage.
I make fun of her a lot.
No, absolutely. But I feel like it's sort of almost like a straw woman kind of thing, right?
It's
just like, she represents America.
Yeah, it's definitely like
the girlfriend. It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, they're good jokes, but they don't feel to me like super revealing.
Yeah, I'm not doing a deep dive into my soul. I'm not.
No. I mean, not saying you have to, but have you guys talked about what's sort of okay for you to bring up on stage? Or
she's pretty much fine.
I've met her a couple of times and she seems cool, but I don't really know her well.
She's pretty much fine with it. Although I did her mum. I just put up.
You did her mother?
Well, her mum really doesn't like being made fun of, and I put up a reel making fun of her mother. And
okay.
But was like, is this going to be a problem? And sent it to her mum, and she's like, she doesn't like being made fun of her accent, but her accent is insane.
Where is she from?
Brooklyn, New York, and she talks like this. This is how she talks all the time.
Yeah, sure.
And so, I the joke I put up, which is true, I said every sentence starts as the nanny and ends as Batman.
Okay.
And just a lot of talking like this.
Yeah.
But she wasn't
This
thrilled.
must go great on the cruise ships, I think.
She was not thrilled about the jokes. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Like my dad.
Interesting.
My dad used to hate when I would talk about him, and he'd always be like, "Say it's your grandfather."
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, but you know it's you, and I know it's you. But he just
Yeah, I mean, I think I never begrudge someone who's not a performer drawing lines on that kind of stuff. It's it's their life. I mean, you just did a naked comedy show. You're all about revealing stuff. Which, by the way, I'm so glad I left the room before you went on. And I mainly left because there was a female comedian that we both know, and she was coming up after you, and I was like, I don't want to see a female coworker naked and have it in my head. And so I just was like, I'm gonna go. I get the vibe of the thing. I saw the host.
There was a 50-50 of guys. A couple of guys I know who know her were like, "Did you see it?"
Younger guys, obviously.
And then, not even younger guys, just some guys were like, "Did you see her?" And then other guys were like, "Did you see that?"
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Ethically, there's nothing wrong. For me, because I came home and I was telling my partner about it, and she was like, "Oh, well, why wouldn't you stay and watch or whatever?" And I was just like, "Oh, it's someone I work with."
Well, it's funny because she and I are friends. And I was just Gemma Bailey,
Gemma,
comedian from Brisbane, and I was saying to her,
I like Gemma.
I said to her, I was like, I was worried I'd be turned on when you came on stage.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, you
were telling me about there was another comedian who went out with a hard on for that show.
Yeah, that was a different show.
I wasn't
there
night
for that
or whatever.
But I was saying to her, I was like, I was worried I was going to be turned on, and that would make this all. But I was like, I was happy to find that I wasn't attracted to you. And
that's actually helpful, I think.
She was like,
yeah, it's a big
thank you and fuck you as
yes,
well.
Of course. Yeah. Well, no, she's younger. I mean, she's young, she's attractive.
Well, she told me she was worried that if she went on, she was worried she'd go on stage and they wouldn't listen because she was too hot. And I went, did they listen?
Fuck off.
Right. And I went, did they listen? And she was like, they did listen. She was, fuck.
Youth.
Yeah. But no, I don't. I'm not in the habit of bearing my soul on stage.
No, you're not like super deep divey or whatever.
I think I could I guess there are elements you could argue. I've talked about having depression.
I feel like
suicidality.
This is
dark thoughts.
Yes, this is no criticism at all. But I feel like when you bring up whatever subjects, I feel like, it's just a jumping off point for a joke.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily up there, and this is, again, no criticism either way.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily up there to go I want to reveal a deep emotional truth.
I think with the depression stuff I did at the start, because I was like, this would be, I don't really hear anyone, because it's an interesting thing where people will often make fun of comedy in Melbourne and be like, oh, everyone's just up there talking about how depressed they are. Yeah. Most people actually aren't, though. They might mention...
I'll tell you what, though, I am getting really tired of people announcing
that
autism, ADHD.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yes, we're in comedy. We're probably autistic. We probably have ADHD.
But with depression,
it's just something where it's like whatever you hear over and over again becomes boring. If everyone's talking about airplanes travel, then that's boring.
I tell you why I started talking about depression, because I was doing the Comics Lounge, which is a big comedy club in North Melbourne.
Yes.
And like it's the biggest club in the country. It's very like commercial.
Yes.
And I thought it was interesting that no one did that kind of material there.
Absolutely makes sense
to
me.
So I started working on it there, and
that's
like it took about a year to get it working. And I remember one night it finally worked, and one of the owners came up to me and he went, "You got that festival shit working here?" Which is very fun.
Yes.
But I also found guys, generally older guys, who come up to me and be like, "Oh, me too.
of course.
I've never heard anyone talk about it. Thank you."
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because they're not out at the open mics with all the other...
So I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep talking about it then, because this is clearly resonating with, and this is me sharing a part of myself that...
Absolutely.
It's funny, I wouldn't do it at the other open mics, because I'm like, this is what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Sure. At those ones, I'd rather be more fucking bland, commercial... Clubby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just rather be the opposite of wherever I am.
Do you think, before you started dating Julia, you had problems with women?
No, I don't think so.
Other people
depends
did.
What problem? what do you mean by problem?
No, I think I don't know. I feel like this is not that we were like super close at the time or whatever, but I feel like you viewed women as some kind of other species.
No, I think I just viewed other people. I think like just like growing up, I had like some close friends, but not a lot. Like I wasn't very outgoing.
Yep.
And so like doing comedy was
you were like deaf in one ear.
Yeah.
Was that from birth, or was that something?
Yeah, it's from birth. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that created problems like socializing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
would imagine.
I can't go out in loud environments. I can't go out in groups of people. I can't really. So
it's hard to like pass just like random conversation.
Yeah, I can hang out one-on-one or in a small group, but like anything over about 4 people, I'm like, nah, I just can't do that. It's too annoying.
But yeah, literally just hard to understand what's going on.
Yeah, and then you probably add on to that, there's probably some like neurodivergent stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
you've got...
The fact that we're friendly at all means that's true.
Exactly. Yeah, there's the No Eye Contact podcast.
Yeah.
But no, I think I just like... I think I spent my early 20s just like basically running a series of experiments about how to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
And
that makes sense. Yeah.
And then, you know, when you get older, you figure your shit out. But I don't think I viewed women particularly as like another species as much as just like viewing other people as like...
Oh, other people in general.
Other people in general, yeah, I think.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think I ever really like... It was never gendered in that way.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. If anything, I kind of think women are better than men. So like...
In what way?
I think women are like more emotionally mature than men are on mass, generally speaking.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if this is fair to say or not. I always feel like the difference between individuals is always bigger than like the difference between groups. Anytime someone like generalizes this big group, this group is that versus this, it's like, well, there's individuals from each group who are way different in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know, not a red flag, but it always just feels to me like lazy. I don't know. Lazy.
I don't know. I think there are generalizations you can make.
Yeah.
Like
my partner is not emotionally well.
Even if they're just a result of socialization, like women tend to be more caring. Women tend to end up in the more caring professions, teaching, nursing, and childcare or whatever, and men tend to end up in less emotionally cognizant jobs.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
it's not saying it's true for everybody, but
no, absolutely. Yeah. What's your?
But I think I came to dating late. Like I didn't kiss a girl till I was like 18. Didn't lose my virginity till I was 21. So I just went on a tear after I lost my virginity for like a couple of years. I was just a fuckboy, making up for lost time.
I think most people have that,
and realizing as well, being like, oh, women find me attractive. I didn't realize that women found me attractive until.
I think you look better now than you did when I met you.
I was very
which
thin.
would have been 8 so years ago, I reckon.
When I moved down home, I was 52 kilos or something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, very, very.
But when I met you, I think you may be a little bit chunkier than you are now. I reckon you've lost some weight in the last.
I have lost some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fluctuate.
Yeah.
Everyone does. But yeah, I think there was that. I think I probably didn't treat anyone that well in my early 20s, but as a result of like not being on.
How old are you now? You're
31.
Yep. Okay.
31 yesterday, actually.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh wait, I already messaged you that.
Yeah, you did.
I take it back. I'm not giving two happy birthdays to you.
I'll store that one for next year.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I wasn't on the right antidepressants, and I also I grew up in the bush and was kind of sheltered, and then kind of came out of my shell a bit.
You've been in therapy then, I assume?
Yeah.
How long have you been? Are you still doing therapy?
Yeah, probably like 8 years, 9 years, something
Yeah,
like
okay.
that. Same therapist.
How often?
Like once a month.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, twice a month sometimes. But like, yeah, I think I regret a lot of the way I, like, just in general treated people in my 20s, like early 20s.
I think that you should. I think
Yeah.
that you didn't do your 20s or your 30s right if you don't regret what you did in your 20s.
Yeah.
Because actually you're supposed to get better.
Yeah,
as a
no,
human
I mean, I
being
regret it, but I wouldn't
over
take it.
time.
I wouldn't take it back.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I did a lot of, like, horrible shit in my 20s,
Yeah.
and I only started comedy at like 29. So I spent a lot of time traveling the world, like doing lots and lots and lots of drugs and acting the fool.
Well, the interesting,
And I regret lots of that, but it did
Yeah.
shape who I am now. And I think, in a large degree, like, regret is what makes you a better person.
people who don't have regrets
Without
are also
regret-
terrifying.
Yeah, you're either a sociopath or you're a loser.
Yeah.
Like,
Or you're like so great. Like, I saw an interview with Paul McCartney once. They're like, "Do you
Yeah.
have any regrets?" He's like, "I'm Paul McCartney," and you're like, "All right." You get to not have regrets. All
No,
right,
that's
that
fine.
makes sense. But yeah, like, I think the interesting thing with me is I started comedy when I was 18. So like
I wished I'd started
well,
at that time, but I think there's also probably negatives.
what it is, it's keeping an autobiography in real time. So because I can
Sure.
look back at, and I've found clips where I'm like talking a lot about sex. I'm like, I must have just
discovered
started
it.
having sex.
Yeah.
Or like now I'm talking about relationships.
Sure.
This is my first relationship. Now, I can pinpoint exactly what was going on by the material I was doing, which is
Sure.
kind of nice and also kind of disturbing.
Why disturbing?
Because you're like, I'm such a fucking loser. I'm such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, because you play it, you put on different hats when you're trying to figure out who you are. So there's
Of course.
a minute there where I'm like, maybe I'm an asexual vegan. You just don't know.
You could come off as that.
I could.
What's your biggest bomb?
Biggest bomb.
Yeah.
Like in comedy.
Oh, no, in life. Let's go in life. I didn't know there were options here.
I'm constructing a bomb at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's going to obliterate. No, biggest bomb. I think, like, there's a couple that stand out, but like they weren't like.
Or what's your worst experience?
What's the
let's
worst
say, on
I
stage?
felt?
Yeah, worst you felt. Performing naked was fine. You
Performing
were
naked
saying
was fine.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
no
that.
issue.
The only thing was having a breeze on your dick on stage because the aircon was on, and it like felt kind of cold. I'm like, am I peeing right now? Like, I was so worried I was gonna like leak.
Yeah,
you know?
interesting.
Biggest bomb. I guess arguably the worst one. I didn't. It's kind of a funny story, but like, okay, so the musical Come From Away, the one
Vaguely.
about during when 9/11 happened, a bunch of the planes were forced to land, and a bunch of them landed in Canada.
Yes.
And then,
okay.
These people had to get taken into the community, the people on the planes, and it was a whole thing about like
Right.
whatever. There's a musical about it.
Is this a comedy?
It's like a comedy musical,
Okay.
kind of like a drama, whatever. The guys who wrote it are from New York.
Okay.
And I thought that was really funny. And I was in New York doing a joke about it. And I was like, isn't that insane that for you guys, 9/11's a tragedy and for them it's their biggest commercial success?
Yeah, okay. That's
And
funny.
they're like, never forget, look at our house.
Yeah,
right.
okay.
And I went to Long Island and did that joke and didn't realize, like, silence when I did that joke. I've been killing. I've got the video of it. I'm like crushing.
Yeah.
And just nothing. And then afterwards, a security guard comes up to me and he's like, no one told you that this is a fundraiser for cops, did they? And it turned out like they'd all, like literally all of their friends had like died in 9/11. And then I get up and I'm like, hey, you want to hear a 9/11 joke?
That's very
like
funny.
an Australian as well. So
I
you're foreign. And yeah, that was pretty bad.
Americans, I feel like, do get quite sensitive about Australians
Well,
judging their country.
New Yorkers as well.
I wasn't in comedy at the time, but I lived over there for like a year, and
Yeah.
I'm very outspoken and loud and so on. And it's like, yeah, it was a thing. People would get really, really upset. It's such a patriotic country.
Well, they sort of like, I found in New York City, like in
yeah,
Manhattan,
they're
they actually,
cosmopolitan enough,
they kind
I
of
think.
admire the balls where you get up
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
do a joke about 9/11.
I think
and they're
cool.
like, dude, here?
Yeah.
Fucking A. But in Long Island, it's pretty Trumpy, and they were.
It's almost suburban.
Yeah,
Long
it's
Island.
like it's weird. It's because you think
It's there, but it's not there. It's separated.
you think like an hour from Melbourne, you're like, it's basically still Melbourne. Like I probably.
I don't know. I've done your cinema gig. It's
Yeah.
different.
It's different, but politically, it's not that different.
It's not way crazy.
But like an
yeah.
hour from New York, you're like, oh, it's fucking Trump country.
Yes, it's hugely
So
different.
Julia
Yeah.
was at that gig with me, and she's like, we're never going back to Long Island.
Yeah, the police are against you now.
Yeah.
That's a country where you don't want to be.
I did a gig once in Germany when I was just pretty new into comedy, like 2-3 years in.
Yep.
And I went to Germany to practice my German.
Okay. You speak German? Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
A little bit.
Ich bin einer Dummkopf.
You're an idiot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived there for a couple of years.
Yeah, really? Oh, like
Long
at
time ago now.
Army base?
No, I was dating a German millionaire at the time, and
There you
I this was actually the long-term open relationship that I later realized.
That's
She just had really low self-esteem and didn't want to do that at all.
That's
and
very German.
Is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, her parents they live in the Black Forest.
Oh, wow.
And they're like the small town, really rich family, and they run like a box factory.
Yeah, you just know that money came from somewhere bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I feel like anytime there's
Yes.
a wealthy German,
when
you're
they're
like,
a wealthy
that's
German and they're like, we own a factory, and you're like,
yeah.
what? Who used to work
It's
there?
been retrofitted. Yeah.
There was a while there where we didn't have to pay our workers anything.
Yeah, originally the boxes were just filled with shoes. But yeah, I lived in Dresden for maybe 7 or 8 months. I lived in Berlin for like 6 or 8 months. And yeah, so how was it? So you performed in German.
Yeah, so I was doing
very
jokes
challenging.
in German. So I was translating them basically direct.
Oh, that's
and
not
so
how
there
to
was
do them.
there's a gig I remember one night where I'm doing the jokes and just like halfway through the translations just stopped working, and it went from like ha 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 to like this is weird. And I just remember I had a recording of it once where it was like you could hear me halfway through just go, oh fuck.
I mean, I've done that in English.
Yeah.
Like
I really want to go back. I'd like to, because Julia's German now. Her family, so her grandfather was a German Jew, had his citizenship stripped from him, and he moved to the United States. But he moved pre-World War II. But his citizenship,
But it still was bad. I'm assuming.
wasn't great. Yeah,
Yeah.
never been great.
Yes.
Continues to not be great for the Jews.
Yes.
But so as a way of apologizing for the Holocaust, basically, the German government, if you are related to anyone who died in the Holocaust, you can have German citizenship.
Oh, interesting.
Which is kind of a weird way of saying sorry. Because a lot of Jews
Yeah.
don't want to go to Germany.
No, exactly. But
Yeah.
that's it. They're like, well, listen, we're gonna get the numbers up somehow.
Yeah.
It-
So
it isn't. Yeah, it's interesting.
So because of all the Trump shit, Julia's.
they're like, actually, it's better for us to be.
Well,
in
this
Germany.
is the crazy part, right?
That's
So I heard Jewish
wildly
family
true,
have
yeah.
all gone, oh, let's go to fucking. Let's flee to Germany.
yes. Well, to be fair, like, I don't know who this is fair to, but like, the Nazis were very popular in America.
Yeah.
Leading up to and almost even after the start of World War II.
And it turns out still.
And the fact is, it's not like a new thing that America hates Jews.
Yeah.
They've always had that undercurrent of
I mean, it's
problematic viewpoints.
Kind of everywhere hates Jews.
I mean, can you blame them? No, I can. Yeah, that's
So
funny.
anyway,
it's
they're
funny
German.
and also horrible that does track that.
Yeah. So she's German now, which means that we could move there. And we're toying with
Interesting.
maybe moving there because there's two comedy scenes. There's a German speaking scene and an English scene.
Yeah, it's like cosmic comedy is the English scene,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's other
There's other independent
corporates, and you can
I'm
tour
sure.
Europe and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I'd like to go back there and just practice for a little bit and do stand up again in German. But like
yeah,
now
as a
that
better
now that I'm
comedian.
a lot better at stand up,
And yes,
that.
absolutely.
I might even do that this year.
It is very interesting, like doing that 9/11 joke in front of the cops. Like how much the audience changes the reception of a joke that's good, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't there for the gig, but on like Damn Talent's like first tour and stuff, which I was sort of like part of or whatever. The Newcastle show. So Sam did a joke. He did it in his special, and he was doing it on the tour where he was talking about the last crowd, whatever. He hoped they would roll in a bus and like that the windows open, they fly and they all die and stuff. You know, like he's angry at the last crowd he performed to. You guys are great.
Mm.
And then he did that joke in Newcastle, and there had been like a very publicized bus crash the day before, 2 days before, and a bunch of people had died.
Yeah. Fuck.
And he's doing he doesn't know. He just got to town and he's doing the joke and it's getting nothing. And then afterwards the comment comes out, hey, a bunch of people died. I think it was like a special school or something. It was like kids died. But it's like, it's in the special. It's killing. It's really is. It's something you can't control.
It's also like the audience aren't wrong when they say that's not funny. In the moment,
They're not funny to them. It's
Yeah.
not funny to them.
Yeah.
They're all aware. They just read the
A
article.
couple of months ago, maybe like a year ago, there was a story in the news about these boys who had been, they had a group chat and they'd taken all the girls from their school's profile pictures,
Okay.
put them through like an AI take your clothes off generator, and basically
Okay.
had been distributing like nudes, but not nudes of the
Yeah, I
girls
get
at their
that.
school.
Yeah.
gross,
I'm not saying it's cool. I'm
gross
saying
teenage
I understand.
bullshit.
what's
Yeah, I
happening.
mean, you're in the group chat.
Yes,
But-
of course. Yeah,
he's the leader.
I just love that it's 14-year-old.
But I had a joke about, it's just coincidentally, I remember reading a story about that, and then the joke was like the boys were rating all the girls' looks out of 10,
Yeah, sure.
and I was like,
It's the origin of Facebook.
yeah, it's the origin of Facebook,
Yeah.
and I was saying like, and it came out in the news, and the girls were upset. Well, the 4s and the 5s.
I mean,
were
it's
upset.
AI body, so they got like 2 pussies. It's all messed up.
But yeah, my joke was the girls were upset. Well, the 4s and the 5s were upset. The 9s and the 10s were like, boys will be boys.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a joke about like if you're a hot person, it's easy to be like, how damaging could it really be? But and that joke does well, and I put that joke up, but weirdly that story, the AI one,
Yeah.
had just been in the news.
Yeah, okay.
And then I got a DM from someone who was like a follower, and she's like, I'm a fan of yours, but like, what the fuck? Like, that just happened. You thought it was appropriate to go on stage and make a joke?
Oh,
And I'm like, oh,
the
no.
too soon, too late thing.
Yeah. I'm like, no, this is a different group of predatory boys.
Yeah. I had a joke. I tried it a couple of times. I think I ended up doing it on like a nasty show thing like a year or two after it happened. But so you know when those kids died on the trampoline in Tasmania or whatever? So I was like staying at a hostel like an hour's drive from there, and I was up when it happened in the hostel common space or whatever. It's on the TV, so I was watching it break, and then I like tweeted a joke about it as it was happening, and I got a message from a comedian who lives in Tasmania who was very angry about it. I had to do blah, blah, blah. And then I ended up writing a joke about it to do on stage that included that comedian being mad at me. And I tried it in Perth, which is the most permissive city in Australia. And I started there, and it made me a worse comedian for starting there. But and it did work there. And then I tried it in Melbourne, and it did not work at all. They were like, no, it's like weeks ago these children died, and we don't want to hear your joke.
Melbourne are also like too nervous to laugh though sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
sometimes Melbourne not laughing is actually a sign that it's a good joke.
It's funny that. So you've performed. How many countries have you performed in now?
Okay.
You've been to Edinburgh?
No, I
thought you had done Edinburgh.
I'm going this year for a week, but
okay.
I'm not
that's right.
doing
Yes,
a
we
show.
talked about this. Yeah. So where have you performed?
United States, Australia, Germany. That's it. I think.
So I know you don't want to talk about this, so I'm not going to talk about the specifics of it. Have you not performed in
Singapore? Singapore, yeah.
Yes, you have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So of those countries, of the cities within those countries, where do you think is the most permissive, the least permissive?
Oh, New York definitely is the most permissive.
Yes.
For sure. Like, I was in a club called The Stand, amazing club.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
I've never performed at, but I would love to.
I like saying because I lived in New York for a couple of months, but I was not in comedy at the time. But I went to see a lot of comedy, and actually that's where I met like an open micer when I was there, and that's when I went, oh, should I have to start this thing?
The Stand's amazing. I was there the night Bob Saget died.
Yeah, okay.
And Ari Shaffir got up and goes, Bob Saget's dead.
Yeah.
And the crowd are like, what? And he's like, yeah, he was my friend, but, you know, he died alone in a hotel room, so he was clearly a pedophile. Like, clearly one of the kids got out from under him. He slipped and fell, and that's why he's dead. And this woman in the crowd's like, is this a bit? And he's like, no, my friend Bob Saget is dead. Look up. And like made the crowd get their phones out. And then you could hear everyone go, oh, fuck, Bob Saget's dead. And he just kept going. And you're like, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Could never do that here. That would never happen here.
I mean, it's at like a horrible open mic. You still hear fucked stuff.
Yeah, but not like in any of the booked rooms.
No,
Melbourne.
the good shows here, I think.
If you got up at Catfish and you did that, everyone would just be like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?"
I mean, they would have to start booking me again.
No, but you know, not even Catfish. Like, just
I totally
just
understand.
An example of an inner city Fitzroy.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Yeah, there is a big difference, I think. Have you gone to New Zealand yet, or no?
Yeah, but I haven't gigged there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, I tried to gig there. I went into the Classic or something.
Oh, I love the Classic. It's great. Yeah, it is interesting. Like the New Zealand sort of perception of Australia. It's sort of like Canada to America. Like we're the big brash country of people who think it's so great or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was interesting preparing to go over there. I was asking people like who have been, like what it was like, and they were explaining that, and I was like, oh, because I am loud, but I'm not proud. And but it was interesting to come in and have that sort of cultural view of who you are. And I think, if you'd gone in there and be like, actually, you got to put me on. Probably being Australian Canada against you for that booker.
Well, it's an interesting thing. You do see the acts and you're like, I could I could make this show better, but it's
Oh yeah,
also,
I mean
but
it's a smaller
but
scene.
it's also your show.
Yes, it's always whoever's running its show.
Yeah.
Which is,
I've-
I
'cause
think
I've-
being a showrunner helps you understand that.
I mean,
You don't get it when you're early on.
I have done it. I did it in America where I just went into a club and was like, "Hey, can I get on?" And they're like, "Oh, you have to do this thing. You have to do the open mic." And I went, "Look, here's the thing. I do it for a living in Australia.
Yes.
I have only got a month here, so I don't have time.
Yes.
So I'd love to do your club, but I just don't have time to jump through the
Yeah,
hoops."
makes sense.
And they go like, "Yeah, fucking A, man. Great. Love the hustle."
Yeah, sure.
But your mileage may vary.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you, when you started going to the States after you got like a bunch of money from the Australian government, right?
No, I had some money working at a law firm at the time.
Oh,
and
that's right,
the,
you did law.
The first time I went, I just,
Yeah.
I used to periodically, whenever I'd get 10
You were like
grand-
actively a lawyer, or you were like a legal
No, I was like
assistant?
a paralegal.
Yeah, okay.
But I basically did what a lawyer would do.
Okay.
I just I wasn't called a lawyer. So I did all the legal work, and then my boss would just review it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because
Yeah,
I was being trained up to be a lawyer. I was meant to work at that firm after I graduated, but comedy got in the way.
Yeah, sure.
But I like periodically, whenever I'd get like 10 grand, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm rich," and
Yeah.
I'd just leave.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well.
Now I'm like, I've more money than I've ever had, and I'm like, I'm so fucking poor. It's a weird thing. Like now, because I feel like I know how much life.
Yes.
I'm like, I can be 21 and be like, 10 grand, that's so much money. But
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
Now I'm 31. I'm like, 10 grand's no money.
Yeah, I mean, I just spent 15 on my special.
Yeah. You just,
I haven't had like a proper. When's the last time you had a proper job that's not comedy?
18 months ago, I worked at a bowls,
yeah.
lawn bowls club for
Events
about 18
managing,
months.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. It was really good. It gave me just enough of a financial cushion to go to Adelaide, do the Fringe that year.
Yeah, great.
Made money there, and then got the cruises out of that Fringe.
Yeah, interesting.
Because the cruise booker came and saw me. So like without that job, I wouldn't be able to just be doing comedy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I would, but just I would be very uncomfortable.
My last proper job, I think it must be like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
9 years ago, maybe. And what's interesting is my perception of money hasn't really shifted from when I was getting a regular paycheck. So I think money is worth what it was worth 8 years ago, and it's not. And I'm like, oh yeah, I had this much money. That's that. And then also I steal a lot of my groceries and stuff. So it's like I don't get a regular like sort of check-in with the value of $1. And money doesn't seem to go as far as it used to. And I keep getting in trouble with my partner where I'm like, oh, it's all fine. She's like, no, you're fucking broke again. Like it's an issue.
Yeah. And also it's like, once it shouldn't change anything, but signing the piece of paper and putting the wedding ring on, you're like, oh fuck, now I've got another person that's like, I'm tied to you.
But she works, right? Like she's got money. You're not like paying for her to live.
She's got money. She doesn't
work. She's rich.
Yeah,
she got that rich Jew money.
She's doing all right. But
that's great. Now I can really see why it happened.
But you are like, oh fuck, I've got a commitment to another person. I've got a commitment.
Yeah,
like, we have a shared life now. And
yes, absolutely. It's
unreasonable of me to go off on a flight of fancy on my own and go, hey, I've got 10 grand. I'm just going to fuck off and spend all this money and come back with nothing.
I definitely started making decisions very differently around comedy, touring, festivals because I have a partner. Not that like she works. She has money, and I barely meet my obligations to her financially, but I do. But because we share a life together, because we're building a life together, it means that I can't make the same decisions I could have made or I used to make.
Or you can, you just want...
Well, if you do, you have a bad relationship or whatever.
Exactly,
It's like, I want a good one.
You can always make the decision.
Yeah, you can be a piece of shit, for sure. Yeah.
And to some extent, that's what's required of you to make it in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I would... There's a younger comedian in Melbourne who... He's one of these young comedians who like goes around and asks all the older comedians advice all the time and is very pushy, which I used to think sucked. And now I'm like, those are the only people that actually stick around. It's something where he was talking to me a while ago about, I don't know, I started dating this girl or whatever. I was like, should I get in a relationship? And I was like, honestly, no. Like, I was in a serious relationship when I started, and I don't regret that at all. But if I wasn't, I would be a much further ahead in comedy. I would be a much better comedian technically. I like the life I have. I'd like to be more successful or whatever. But like, I love love. I love my relationship. It makes my life richer. It doesn't make me a better comedian to want to be home all the time, to not hang out at gigs all the time. if you don't have an emptiness in your life that you're filling with comedy, you won't do it enough to actually be really good.
Well, when I met Julia, I was already doing it full time. So
no, of course. I think the timeline
easier.
for you is actually much better, where you've been doing comedy for like 8 years, 9 years. You're essentially a full-time comedian. And at that point, it's easier to, like, I think, bring in a relationship without...
That's what it was, because I'd be like, hey,
I
have all this stuff I'm doing. And she's like, oh, well, where do I fit in around that? Whereas, the other way, it's like, where does... Because comedy is the other woman, basically, in the relationship. It kind of is. You're like, I spend all my time out with her. I think about her all day. I'm constantly on Instagram looking at her. Like,
ultimately, she costs you money.
She costs me money. Yeah. There is an element of like, oh, you share me with this thing I do.
Absolutely, yes.
And
there's a constant push pull in my relationship with comedy. I mean, I think it's helpful that Nicole also has passions and a vocation, and so if there was a kind of person who was maybe less driven for their own goals, I think it would really be problematic for a comedy couple, let's say.
Also, it's fun, which is people have
comedy is fun.
I've had relationships
when it's
where
good.
They've had real problems with the fact that I enjoy it, like because it's like no work should be pain, and
I have that argument.
Being
sometimes.
Together should be joyous, and I'm like, no,
it could all be fun.
Yeah, it turns out you can just enjoy every part of your life equally.
Yeah, I definitely think that's. I think there's a essential lie that's been sold as part of capitalism. Let's say is that work should always just be this obligation that you do in order to buy things that make you happy, and then you can sit and enjoy the things you bought. Yeah. And it's like that sucks.
Yeah,
I would much rather, and I've obviously made the choices to be poor in order to pursue things that are passion.
Yeah.
Even before comedy, like I was like a research scientist. There's not huge money in research science. I just loved science. So I was like, I'm just going to sit around. I'm going to be in labs and do like lab work and shit. And there's more money than comedy, but that doesn't say anything.
It helps if you're not like avaricious, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
Although, it also... easy to say you're not avaricious when you...
It's nice to have money, but I just don't want to sacrifice the quality of my life to get it, if that makes sense.
Well, it's like...
having money makes your life better.
I come from a privileged perspective of like my family have assets and money and stuff, and eventually that will flow to me unless I do something really...
Yeah, my family's poor.
Terrible. So it's easy. It's easy for me to be like, well, stuff and money doesn't matter because in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, but there's stuff and money coming.
Yeah, I mean, I have the safety net of being like a white straight male in Australia, which is like not as cool as it used to be, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
and it's like coming from that is the safety net, right?
And you could always go back to research. So like there's stuff you could do.
I did consider it.
If it came,
I've forgotten most of it. Yeah. No, I mean,
I think you'd pick it back up if you had to.
I think if I had to, but I also don't have to.
But knowing that that's available to you,
it's huge. I mean, I'm very educated, right? I've got like 4 degrees. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
If I had to be.
Yeah.
But also because I think partly because I know that, and also because I made the choice not to have children, it's like, well, I can just do whatever I want.
You can take bigger risks.
Yeah.
Because you know that like your tolerance for risk is bigger maybe than most people's, but also like you have a more sort of ammunition to
absolutely more like more armor.
Yeah, say. I wonder how many people like would be a really prolific director, filmmaker, podcast or whatever, but they're like, I just don't have time. Like,
oh, absolutely, I get that.
I cannot do this. And fail.
Yes.
And so then it takes a very particular kind of person in that situation to be like, well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
I'm just going to not fail. Which can
just fail for ages and it'll be fine, you know. Like worst thing, Nicole, and I talked about this, I think, in the special that'll come out at some point. But she's a culturally Chinese immigrant woman, and that is such a different perspective on the world than a white Australian male. Like we both have lived all over the world, but everywhere I went, I felt safe.
Yeah,
including when I got like picked up. I was hitchhiking from Amsterdam to Germany. A guy picked me up who I later realized was planning to rape me. And I still hitchhiked back after I mean, it's a whole thing. We don't have to get into the whole story. But like, that was definitely his plan. I was like a young, hot, twin looking dude. It was definitely his plan, and I still was like, yeah, and I still I went back to Amsterdam when I got out of that car safely and showed up at my friend's house, and I was like, he was like, are you supposed to be in Germany now? I'm like, listen, the guy tried to rape me kind of thing. So I'm going to stick here tonight, and then I'll hitchhike back again tomorrow. It's like, yeah, if I felt less armored by who I am fundamentally, then it would have completely shifted probably the course of the rest of my life, to be honest, because after that, I still moved all over the world and lived everywhere, and I've always felt safe. And that's just pure luck.
Yeah, you didn't do anything.
I didn't earn it.
I think, on the other hand, you miss out on a lot of like community and a sense of like, I don't have to be self-reliant. Like,
right.
Our culture,
I definitely think
is so intense about individualism and male individualism. You miss out on like the vulnerability of relying on other people.
I do sort of envy the, like we both know a number of like East Asian comedians and stuff in Australia. There's a community that they have by virtue of who they are.
Yep.
That is not even necessarily the same culture, but it's just like, hey, we're all othered in this sort of similar way in Australia, and that brings us together. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool to have this.
Which is so funny because all the Jewish comedians in Australia,
are there so many? Is there a couple?
They look at me and they're like, you're not one of us.
I mean, to be fair, you're sort of not.
But look, I never claim it. I never say.
Did initially?
Well, no, I did.
After you got that 23andMe, you're on stage being like, I'm a Jew.
But I would always. My rule was if I said it, I always had to caveat it with, I did this test, it's 25% or 15% or whatever it was.
I believe.
Yeah, it's like not enough. But like, I'll say it.
I did like your joke about it. I think maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah. I feel like when you first were talking about it, you weren't caveating it.
No, I always did. That was my one rule.
Fair enough. But yeah, I did like your joke, which is it's a good wordplay, but also it's just a good joke to be like, I'm Jewish, but I'm ish.
Jewish, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is fair. I mean, you're late to the party.
But it's a fascinating thing, right? Because like I'm only this version of Jewish, not Jewish, because of the Holocaust. Because my grandfather was raised really Jewish,
right?
And then after the war, like a lot. So he was in Germany in the 30s, visiting cousins who were Jews over there.
Oh, okay.
They kicked him out. They said, "Don't come back here. It's not safe."
Yes.
And so he never saw his family again. And so after the war, deliberately raised my dad Catholic.
Yeah.
And then used to say to my dad, if anyone ever asks if you're Jewish, you say no. Like,
interesting.
My dad was told actively, you're not Jewish, and don't fucking think you are.
Yeah, wow.
And so I say I'm Jewish, and my dad's like, no, you're not. But I'm like,
interesting.
Your fucking dad went to Hebrew school.
But
and
are you going to convert now that you're... Because you just married
Julia's not.
She's full Jew, no?
Yeah, she is. She's full Jew. She's full Jew, yeah.
Full-blown Jewish?
Full-blown. FBJ, as they say.
Yeah.
No, she was raised Jewish, went to Hebrew school and all that.
Yeah.
She's not religiously Jewish.
Okay, just culturally Jewish. Yeah. So you're not going to convert?
No point.
Yeah, okay.
I don't believe it. I don't believe in the religion.
No, I know, but you do things for people you love sometimes that you don't.
I would if
necessarily
she
believe.
If she wanted me to, I would, but it's not. In fact, it's the opposite. She hates it. She's like, because she was raised in it. You know, she resents. She resents it because she was in it, and I resent not being in it.
Yeah, I think I'm more. I mean, I used to be like more insufferably atheist, but like I'm still atheist or whatever. But like, I think I was more so because I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
Getting the hypocrisy. Not that I don't think that the Jewish religion is as hypocritical or whatever as Catholicism, but I was raised in Catholicism.
It's a religion. They're all hypocritical.
They're all weird.
What I will say is I think the best parts of me are the Jewish parts.
What do you mean?
Sense of humor, intelligence.
Money grubbing.
Yeah. Neuroticism. All the land I own in Gaza.
Yeah, you control the weather.
Yeah, all that stuff. No, but I really do think that the traits of mine that I most strongly associate with myself, if you were like, how do you describe yourself? I'm like, I'm intelligent, I'm funny, and whatever.
Sure.
Those are all very strongly correlated.
Yeah, absolutely. Sense of humor and analytical mind and stuff. I think, there's a big cultural element. I'm not sure how much that's genetic, but like...
Well, actually, a surprisingly large part of it, apparently Ashkenazi Jews have, on average, the highest IQ.
Oh, wow.
Of any people.
I think last thing I read, this is before I quit neuroscience, but like, was about 40% of intelligence is genetic.
Yep.
And
60%
is
more
environmental.
Nobel Prizes are held by Ashkenazi Jews than any other racial group. Like,
yeah, wow.
It's just a thing. Don't know why.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's funny because like on my DNA test, I'm more Scottish than I am Jewish, but I wouldn't go around going, oh, I'm Scottish. You know, like,
yeah, I guess you got to write a joke for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, because I'm part Irish. Like my original name, because like obviously my legal name is silly. My original last name is Irish last name, but I'm only 1/16 Irish. I'm like 1/8 Scottish. I'm 1/4 Welsh. I'm a quarter Indian, which my mother's family, they're all like, not for similar reasons, but like they're all like, hey, we're full British. Like, but that's just a weird caste system.
Are they British Indian or
with
Indian
colonialism?
Indian?
So my mother is like Anglo-Indian, like she's half Armenian, and then half Indian. Yeah. But if you ask her, she's like British. And then her mother is like full Indian.
Is your mother brown?
My mother is got a little tint, let's say.
And
she's not brown.
Are your grandmother's brown?
Grandmother's brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're Indian.
No, it's unfortunate. I wish I was more.
Yeah. I mean, you're not getting on any Asian comedy showcases with that skin color and accent.
No. I'm white. I think you essentially are how people are treating you.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like, I was always called Jewish. When I started comedy, before I even knew about it, people were like, his name's David Rose, he has a law degree.
Oh, wow,
He's doing comedy, Jew.
Yeah,
like,
I never made that connection myself.
Here's a weird thing. I've been the victim of more anti-Semitism than my raised Jewish wife.
What's happened?
Well, because I'm fucking publicly Jewish.
Right.
So I just get shit all the time. Or even like things like you say jokingly. Like comedians will just say shit to me where I'm like, dude, like, it's fine, but you shouldn't say this to other people.
Yeah.
But it's just people are like, it's comedy, you know.
Yeah, comedians are fucked.
And so like I've been on the receiving end of more abuse than she ever has.
Yeah, I mean,
which is so weird.
I mean, it does make a kind of sense, but like being a public figure, and particularly, I think you've become now like quite a public figure, like that you have all this following online.
Yeah, and you
put stuff out all the time.
I put stuff out about my great grandfather especially.
Absolutely,
so it's like, you know, people. There's a fucking hour-long documentary of me talking about my Jewish heritage. So people, if you look me up, you'll find it and then make some assertions.
Yeah, it makes sense. Less people just have the opportunity to abuse Julia. Good.
It's really weird, though, because, like, after October 7th, I found the way people, even comics were treating me, got a bit weird. Like, I'm like, there's a gig that I did a joke at. It's not about Palestine at all, but I did a joke making fun of white people at protests.
Oh,
and
I see.
I subsequently got banned from that gig because they thought I was being Zionist on stage.
I see. That's interesting.
Fascinating, because the joke wasn't about Palestine or Israel at all, but they assumed.
But who you are, who you're perceived to be, definitely changes how a joke lands.
How a joke is taken, right?
Like Louis C.K., he's still technically a very good comedian, and I used to be like a massive fan of his, and it wasn't necessarily a thing where I was like, oh, he must get cancelled or whatever when all the stuff came out. But I will say, like, because he does very personal confessional comedy or whatever, it changed the way I heard his jokes. Even though it's essentially the same jokes. But just because now it's like...
if anything, it's more honest now.
I'm not saying it's dishonest.
No,
but I mean... feels different to me to hear it.
Because it's so... You really know what it's about now? You're like, ooh.
Yeah, it just... It makes... I mean, and I went and saw him when he was in Melbourne. And it was funny seeing a couple of famous comedians who had like masks on where they didn't need to have masks. But they just like, I don't want no one to see me that I'm here.
I was there too. I saw a lot of people like...
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, a lot of what I didn't enjoy about it or enjoyed less about it was the kind of audience he's attracted now. I was like, I feel like I was in a room full of like anti-woke idiots or whatever, and I was like, I feel like the way people are laughing at this sucks. But on top of that, just like some of the jokes, I was like, oh, I don't like that because there's a meanness of spirit that I'm attributing to him personally now.
Yeah. Which I understand why he would have that meanness of spirit, because it must be genuinely quite traumatic to have the entire world literally the entire world turn on you.
Absolutely.
You'd have to be a pretty remarkable person to not come out of that pretty embittered, even if you had done the wrong thing.
Yes, of course. Hey, I want to ask you about, because you edit all your own stuff, or you pay someone to edit it?
Nah, I just edit. Occasionally people message me and they're like, hey, we can edit your videos.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I get people message me that too. I'm like, I don't even push shit up. Like,
and I'm always like, all right, what's your offer? And they go, well, we can do 4 videos for $400. I'm like, I do all my own shit.
Do you think it? Because I think it was very notable to me 3-4 years ago. I think you suddenly got way better. Way better. Like there was this huge jump.
Yeah, I think it was going to New York.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how much of that is, do you think, editing? Because I think every time I edit a clip, it makes me better.
Oh, I did notice one thing. I used to lick my lips after punchlines.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that. I used to
Interesting.
go like, I'm Jewish. And I was like, what am I? What, a snake? What am I?
Yeah, okay.
Little things like that.
Visual
but no,
tics, I think, are great.
I
I think for editing, it's
a
great
lot of people
too.
don't watch themselves on stage, so that was good to
Yeah.
know. Like there are certain things I do. Like I noticed I would often get worried that my fly was undone, so I'd grab at my fly, but it just looks like I was grabbing my dick.
Oh, interesting.
Like there are small things like that.
See, that's the thing you do have to do at the naked show. But then
Yeah.
you were worried you were peeing?
I just grab my dick.
Yeah. So, all right, you feel like it's mainly was just the people you're performing with that made you better?
Just exposure to a different type of comedy as well. Because
Sure.
like Melbourne is so meandering, and like I feel like what I was trying to be accepted by the powers that be here.
Sure.
And I was like, maybe if I
I think that's a very natural urge.
jump through this hoop, they'll love me.
Mm.
And then you go away and you're like, oh, you can do that.
Yes.
And then you come back and you're like, oh, great, we just live in a bubble. And
Absolutely, of course. I think every city, every country, every room has its own imaginary boundaries that no one's decided that those are there, but they're just there.
And look,
And it's just whoever like pushes things in whatever direction.
Look,
you go,
some
okay,
people-
that's the bounds.
some people have decided actually. Some people like, you don't joke about this at my room.
Yes, you're right. There are individuals who
Yeah.
do that.
And look, that's fine. Like, go with God or whatever. But
Yeah.
I thought it was more interesting. Like, I went and watched David Tell a bunch.
Dude, he's so good.
I was just I was
He's one
at
of the
Caroline's
best.
watching, and then I talked to him afterwards.
Oh,
And he was just an interesting dude. And I was
he's
like,
one of the best.
That's a fun version of comedy to do where
Absolutely.
you don't have to focus on one big punch. You can just keep them rolling, and
Yes.
then, and just like, I don't do the same kind of comedy as him, but real just left of center. Like, he's got a joke in his special and the crowd start applauding. And he goes, no applause. I'm not trans. And then just moves on. Like, he's not making a thing. It's not an anti-trans joke. He's just saying a silly thing.
Yes.
Moving on. If you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you don't.
Absolutely. No, I really, really respect that. Like winning the firefight of punchlines or whatever, where you just go, the point is not your response. The point is to get as many jokes as I can
Yeah.
in this period
And
of
also,
time.
like, you're rewarded for paying attention
Yes.
as well.
I was having I had in like the lead up to my special, I had like a writing meeting, an editing meeting with Andrew Portelli, who's a comedian here, who we started around almost the exact same time in Perth. And he is, I think, a better writer than me and a better performer, and he has a better career than me. However, there was a real sort of like push-pull in terms of like when he was trying to edit my stuff, where he was saying like, you need to like leave all this room here, or you need to restate this premise again, like more clearly, to make sure that everyone is with you for each punchline. And I was like, but if I don't, I could put 2 more jokes.
Yeah.
And for me, and particularly in terms, I think I do that in just my regular stuff. I try to just like put a weight of punchlines in. But on top of that, I was like, but I'm filming this, I'm editing it, I'm putting it up on the internet. If people miss it, if some people in the room miss it in the room, that's fine.
My favorite
Because on rewatch,
Yeah.
like watching it later, you'll get it.
My favorite thing is to put up a routine, and you'll see people will go like, "Oh, I love that one. Oh, I love that one." Like,
Sure.
if you can stack it full of jokes, and everyone's
Yes.
got their favorite as well.
Yes,
it's-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, I always was really paranoid about. I always felt like I relied so much on wordplay and like
that's
Jewish
a very
or whatever.
it's a very Australian and UK sort of thing. It was like to do a lot of wordplay.
Yeah,
a lot of puns.
And I always wanted to write jokes where if you wrote them down, you couldn't quite tell where the joke was.
Yes, I think that's ideal.
And
I think it's like, it's fine that there's one layer that's written, but there needs to be another layer on top of that, or it's not actually stand-up. It's just telling jokes.
And like, there's a joke over the moment. It's really silly, but it's just me talking about the Olympics. And all the joke is I go, the Olympics were funny. America came 13th in shooting. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, sure.
And then it's just ha 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 is the punchline.
Yeah.
Which isn't like, if you write it down, it's kind of nothing.
Yeah.
And it's also just delivery. It's just da da
Sure.
da 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 ba ba ba. Da 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 da. Like, there's a rhythm to it. And I like that just because I'm like, oh, that's like a different way of getting a laugh. That's not just like, I have another joke, which is way more wordplay, which is like, I used to go to rallies to meet women. I went to immigration rallies to meet women. I wasn't there to let more people come in. I was there to come in more people.
Yeah.
It's very much da-da-da.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
Flip those words.
Yeah.
It was something that, because my special taping got postponed a bunch of times, right? And then
I remember that.
I thought it was ready in September last year. And then it got cancelled, but I still had like a warm-up show booked. So I was supposed to do the taping on the
Yeah,
Saturday.
you were meant to be in Newcastle or something.
So
I was
did
there.
I did
yeah,
the gig.
yeah,
You
yeah.
actually opened for me and blew me out of the water as my opening act. Which part of it was I was like really upset about what had happened. So I was supposed to do the taping the day after, and then the Friday afternoon I did a show in Newcastle, the warm up show or whatever. And then I was still like had my buddy there to give me notes and all this kind of stuff. I was like, well, I'm going to do the warm up show anyway, and then I'll just do editing from that for whenever I do tape it. You did so good that I bombed for the first 20 minutes of my hour, which was very upsetting. But also it really helped me in terms of like, I got to make this fucking shit better. But a lot of what I did is I ended up taking out a bunch of wordplay jokes, a bunch of puns. And in most cases, I didn't have to cut them completely. I just had to move them to the middle of a joke and not end the sentence on wordplay. And then it felt better.
Watching like Louis, you may have your opinions about him as a person, but
he's still very technically capable.
What I noticed watching him, because I do still love his stand up, is that there's I think no wordplay in it. He just doesn't do it.
No,
it is cheap. It really is.
I think it is, and that's the thing. I think you can use it, but you don't want to overuse it.
Yeah,
and it doesn't want to be the point of any given sentence structure. Paragraph.
There's a handful of like.
If the point is a pun, like you probably should do better.
Celia Piccola's got a great joke about how we don't call rings. We call
finger rings. That's my favorite joke.
Rings on our toes.
That is a great bit.
Our toe rings, but we don't call rings on our fingers finger rings.
Yes,
but it's like, and it basically is just her saying the pun 4 or 5 times in a row. My boyfriend gave me this finger ring.
But she does a scene.
It was his grandmother's fingering. But it's
a scene.
And it's in service of more than just like, I'm saying it again.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great bit.
No, but that's a pun that leads into a world, right?
Yeah.
Where a world of that's true. And I think pun's okay at some point.
I heard someone say, I forget who said it. I wish I could remember.
Some people do incredible ones, and it's like that can be that person's
like
whole
Mark
thing.
Simons.
Yes.
Quip of the Mark on that was his show name. Great line. And he's got stupid ones like, I was going to write a joke about painting. Back to the drawing board. They're all.
I mean,
but he does
it's a very British thing.
He'll do like 100 of them over the course of the show, and you're like, at a certain point, you're like, that's just impressive that you were able to write that many of them.
Yeah.
But I heard someone say, I wish I remembered who said it, but they said the American comedy, stand-up comedy in America comes from Mark Twain and like vaudeville. It comes from spoken word first. Mark Twain was actually a stand-up, basically, who wrote books.
Sure.
Whereas the British comedy tradition comes from like Jeeves and Wooster.
Sure.
It's literature first, funny, like it has to be word funny on the page.
Yeah.
And then perform.
It's a very, because it's Australia's sort of between those two.
Yeah, I think we
cultural
have more of
comedy traditions.
We have more of an oral tradition here than the British do, but we are still very British in like. Growing up, half the shows you watch were on the ABC were just from the BBC.
Absolutely,
like we were and still are a little colony.
And, yes, and we have Taskmaster now.
Yep.
I don't know why everyone has Taskmaster.
Yeah, so in that way we are very, and that's like something I've tried to remove. I'm trying to get rid of that. I'm trying to get rid of jokes where I go, I told that joke and a person in the audience was there and they went, bleh.
Great. It's a quote from, I think it's in one of Stuart Lee's books where he's talking about Greg Fleet, famous heroin addict. Yeah, he said Greg Fleet invented that style of comedy, and that's become the Australian style of comedy, which is, here's a joke about a different time I did the joke.
Yeah.
And I read that and I went, oh, fuck, I've got a bit like that. And every friend of mine does.
I got 3 of them.
Yes.
In my show this year, and I'm like, it's like trying to wean off heroin. I'm like, all right, I'll drop that one.
But I think it's the same as with the puns. It's like they can have a place. It's just they shouldn't be the centerpiece.
I've got one that I have kept because it's there's actually no 2 of them, but they both serve a purpose.
Yeah,
and it's not just, hey, here's an added joke, because it also removes all the it removes the artifice of it being in the moment. When you go, I told that joke, and the crowd are like, you told that joke?
Yeah. I mean, I'm
it's like you're having sex and the girl's like, where'd you learn that?
I am fine with that. Like, I kept one in my special. So it was the means of pasting together 3 separate pieces into one bit.
Yeah.
And I needed it for that.
Getting there is,
but it was just like, it's sort of 10, 15 seconds about the time I did it, but it was just it was a glue connecting like 3 pieces into one, and I was like, got to keep that.
Having said all that, David Quirk's bit about dog ears.
Dog ears is great.
which is literally the whole bit is I told this joke.
But the joke of
a
that
woman
is
misunderstood it, and now I'm going to retell it the way
joke
she
of
heard it.
that is his rage.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I cried laughing
David
the
Quick is so
first time
funny.
I saw it.
I think let's finish this up. Just tell me your favorite comedian.
Uh,
Pick your favorite. Only one.
Only one?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Probably Louis, still.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think.
Just because of who he is as a person.
Just because of the masturbating.
Yeah,
I
great.
hate his stand.
That's why he did the naked show.
No, I mean, I just think, like, when he's
I love his best stuff still.
on, like, being honest and vulnerable and raw,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone do that style of comedy better.
Yeah, fair.
Like, it really, I was talking with
I think he popularized that style.
I was talking with my wife about this today.
Ooh.
We were listening to like the Beatles. There's like a song in my life. John Lennon is just saying, "Here, there are places I remember in my life. They've all changed, but my love for you will always remain the same." It's like, and he's just like, some are dead and some are living in my life. I've loved them all. Very sweet and vulnerable. And I was saying, like, that must be a really crazy moment to be in a band. You're a band of young men, and you're all turning up for rehearsal, and then you walk in. You're like, guys, I've written this really sweet little poem about. Like, it must to bare your soul in that way. I could never do. I don't handle vulnerability well in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, I can make a joke about it, but to just turn up and be like, here are my feelings. Ooh, really, I can't imagine doing it. And that's what Louis does when he's at his best, and he's not like reacting.
You don't think like Mark Maron bears his feelings?
Yeah, but he's just he bears one feeling, which is rage over and over. He just is angry over and over.
I mean, did you see the special about like his dead wife, his dead partner?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there was an incredible line in that, which is when Lynn died. It was devastating. It was like the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I'm sure to her. Which I later found out was an improvised line in the moment he had never said before, which is incredible. It's like the best line of the special. Yeah. But no, I think there's other people who also do bare their souls.
I think that's true, but like
but Louis is very good at it.
He's very good at it.
I'm honestly, I think he's worse at it now than he was.
I know. I understand.
I think part of that is because the world turned against him.
It would be way harder to be vulnerable now.
And part of that is because the audience that he has attracted doesn't want that as much.
I think there's that, but I also think he's now like he's more scared of the world than he probably was.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and it would be a lot scarier to be vulnerable because you're like, well, how are they going to use this against me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right, that's a good answer.
I think, look, to be honest, that's probably a failing of mine. That's probably why I'm not more personal, because I'm always like, I don't want to give you something to. I'm very scared of social media. I don't like it. I don't like having that many people paying attention to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if they're paying attention in a good way, it's only a matter of time until it's negative. I'll say something on a fucking podcast, or,
no one's going to listen to this one.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, or, I'll treat someone badly at a fucking gig, and then they'll tweet about it, and then suddenly I'm in a precarious. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
What do they say? If you believe the love, believe the hate. And
right.
Like, I find this whole part of the industry very disturbing. Because
this whole part being
the content creation, the being.
Oh, right. I see.
I've been told before that I've had multiple people say they're like, the problem with your social media is I don't know anything about you. You never show pictures of your life. You never share your home life. You cooking fucking ravioli and what you're listening to this month. And I'm like, yeah, that's not my job. My job is to do the jokes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't want to share, because the more I give you, the more you can use to hurt me.
But also, it's like you're allowed to have. I think that's a problem with society now, and it's because of the rise of social media. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily healthy to have no barriers between the public and you and your private life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not healthy. I don't think it's healthy to not have a private life, right? And whether or not you're a performer, now it's become normalized that nothing's genuinely private.
Yeah.
And maybe this is being like an old man or
no,
whatever.
I agree. I think,
but I don't think it's super healthy. I'm very demonstratively public about all the details of my life, but also there's a few things that I don't share, and I certainly am not like super wildly exposing of myself on socials. I do it in my stand-up, but
there needs to be a core. There needs to be a core of your life that is just yours.
I think it's healthy.
Yeah. But it's also like I also don't trust, like, because I've gone.
But it's interesting you come from that like defensive position of like, oh, this is ammunition against me.
I guess I've seen it happen so many times to people on social media.
Yeah.
It's like,
Makes sense.
You misstep once and they tear your entire life apart to like, oh, well, he was always a dick. You see this post from 4 years ago where he,
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of bigger maybe a couple of years ago. That was happening a lot, I felt.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to live and die on my jokes. If I do a joke and I get in trouble for it, even if it got like
Sure.
big trouble,
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, that was my choice. I put the joke out there.
Mm,
But I don't want other shit getting in the way.
I think it's good. I think it's healthy. All right. Thanks for hanging out.
Is that how you end it?
Well, quick, tell me about the comedy masala thing.
I gotta go.